Good morning, crafty peeps. So welcome to our July Craftology box tutorial part 1. So there's a few things that you're going to need. So from your Craftology box for the first part of this tutorial, we are going to need a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And then you're going to need a circle die, or I think this one is about 2 inches. So if you have a 2-inch circle punch, you could even use your scalloped punch. That's completely up to you. You're going to need a couple clothespins or clips or something, paper clips or whatever. Let's see what else. You're going to need your glue. If you got your March Craftology box, you should have some of Country Craft Creations scrapbook glue, which is perfect for this. You will also need your envelope punch board, and let's see, yes, of course, your paper cutter, your bone folder, just simple things like that. And then when we get to the flowers, which I'm going to make a little flower basket out of mine, but that is completely up to you. You don't have to do that. Just get an assortment of flower dies or use your Cricut machine. Or if you have some flowers from the store that you purchased, or you could use a flower in the kit. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. My kids' food was ready already, and so I was like, okay, I gotta get it out of the oven. Okay, so today, for my basket, I'm going to go ahead and use the wood design. I think it's really cute. So, all I'm going to do is cut off my little edge first, because we don't need that. And then I'm going to put it to the side, because like I said, I like using these for belly bands. I just cut off this little piece right here. Well, you could use that for a belly band too, so I may as well keep it on there. Okay, so then I am going to start off. I'm going to have my wood floor portion, if I'm doing this correctly, I'm going to have it with the lines going up and down instead of horizontally, so vertically. And I'm going to get out my bone folder, and I'm going to score all the way down at the 4-inch line, and then the 8-inch line. And then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. And again, I'm going to score at the 4-inch and 8-inch. But I'm going to go up to that first score line. I'm sorry, my son is being really loud. Here. You know what, I'm going to flip it over because it's easier for me to see on this paper. Okay, so at the 4, and I'm just going to score to that first line. I'm going to go 8, I'm going to score at that first line, I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to do the same thing, 4, and 8, okay? I'm going to make sure. Okay, so now it should have 6 squares and then this long strip right here. Then I'm going to do another thing. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but once I get done with this, you'll understand. I'm going to mark at a 1/4 inch all the way through. I'm going to flip it over and mark it again at a 1/4 inch and score it down all the way through. Okay, and I'm going to cut off those 2 1/4 inch edges. Okay. And most likely on some of these boring parts, I'm going to fast forward. Okay. Then I am going to do some more scores in between here. I'm going to do some more scores here and here. And so at the first line, you're going to go to 1 1/4 inch and score just to that one. In fact, hold on. I'm going to do it this time, but I can't really see. So here we go. So we have 1 1/4 inch to that first line, 2.5. Then I'm going to skip my middle square, and I'm going to go all the way to my 9" and just go to the half, that little line right there, and then 10.25. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over because I don't know if it's going to be the same on both sides. So, again, 1.25, 2.5, and I kind of have to feel here. Then 9" and 10.25. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to, I know this is really strange, but the way I have these measurements here, it works out right. So I'm going to score again at 3/8 inch all the way down. And I will be cutting that off, okay? And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. 3/8 inch all the way down. And I'm going to cut that off. There we go. Make sure I did on the, yeah, I got the other side. Okay. So, now it's going to look something like this, and it looks like I need to change my blade. I'm going to try flipping it over in the meantime. Okay, so now I'm just going to flip it over because for some odd reason I can't really see that well on the other side. So you can either take your scissor, okay, and you're going to go ahead and cut along those, just slice at the score lines, but don't go all the way through. So the one, and I'm not going to go all the way down because I am not very good. I'll do that with my scissors and manually. Okay, so you can kind of like fast forward through this little part. In fact, I'll fast forward through it myself. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. You're going to score it down till you get to that line where your score lines are. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter interrupted me. So, okay, so now at this point, you're going to have your paper looking like this. So you're going to have your centerpiece, and that's not going to be marked through, and then you're going to have these little fan pieces, as I call them, on both sides. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and fold down this middle piece. Don't worry, you're going to actually put it back up in just a second, but we're going to now cut off a 1/2 inch. So you're just going to put it up here on your cutting board. And I didn't score it because it's kind of hard to score through paper that's already been cut. I just line it up here, hold it down tight, and then cut through. So you're going to have these little pieces right here, and you can toss those. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side, and I'm sorry this keeps making racket. I'm going to put this up and line it up. Okay. Actually, that's the first time that's ever happened to me, but I guess normally I hold it down tighter. Okay. And then you can kind of put this piece back. So then you're going to want to figure out your center. Okay. And how I do that is I just kind of fold it over. And then I know it's like not making any sense right here, but I'm going to give you the measurement in just a second where that is. If I line it up, I was right. I should have just left it alone. It's at 5 3/8. So when you line it up here on the 5 3/8 inch, let me see if I can find a pencil. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so at 5 3/8 inch, you're going to make a little mark at the top. Okay, and you're going to do the exact same on this side. Make a little mark at the top. Okay, and then we're going to make this into a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. I know it kind of gets tricky here because you don't want to cut, you only just want to cut the triangle. So I'm going to line it up. From here to this first corner where that line is. So from my little dot here to over here in the corner. And I'm just going to cut that off. So I got rid of that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this end. Or you can hand cut it, but I don't trust my I don't cut straight lines. I can guarantee that, and that's why I use my cutting board. Okay. There we go. So now I have my little diamond or triangle, not diamond, triangle. Then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Get it up in there. I know it's kind of hard to do this because it gets moved a little bit. I think now it's going to look something like this. Now, you can use your score tape if you want to, but I like to use glue just because I'm going to be moving these pieces around. So what I do is I take this and then I start kind of doing like a little crisscross up, if you can see that, on the first piece, and then the last two are going to be in a down formation. Okay, and I'm just kind of like interlacing it, so it's going to look something like that. And then you can fold over this piece, and then, if I'm doing it right, because I don't want to have any extra pieces hanging out, might need to spread it out a little bit. I think I did them a little too tightly or close together, shall I say. There we go. That looks better. Might have that bottom one too high also. It's kind of something you just got to play with. But it's pretty easy to do. And then you're going to fold it over. Now for me, I'm going to take my glue. And if you still have some glue left over from your Craftology box from March, you can use that. I'm actually out. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this Aleene's glue. And I like it because it doesn't bubble up. And then I'm going to use my little clip. So now it's going to look something like that. Okay? And then you'll just do the same on the other side. And then set it aside to dry. I'm going to do a little bit up, down, down, down. And I know it's hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of like layering them one on top of each other. And then spread it out a little bit so that it looks even. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, then I'm going to get my glue again. I'm going to make a little strip here of glue and fold over and clip. Now, in the meantime, if you are using your, actually mine looks a little bit uneven. Let's see here. There we go. So now we basically have our little basket fashioned. So when this dries, you will need your We Are Memories Keeper or a hole punch. Okay. And just making sure this looks even here. And it does. Okay. So now you're going to get your circle punch and you're going to make 2 punches. And then you will also glue those right here, and I'll be back in just a second after I get that punched out. And for me, I have some brown cardstock that I'm going to use, so I'm just going to use that piece. Okay, so now I have my 2 circles, and I'm just going to line it up and then use my bone folder and then do the same thing on the other. Okay, I'm going to get my little basket here, and I'm going to put some glue here, a little bit on each side. Take this off, and then attach it on here like so. Just like center it. And then I'm going to reattach it with my clip. And I had these 2 other little baby clips. Where'd it go? There they are. I need to get more clips, huh? Okay. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. And then set aside to dry. Oops, if I can get this little paper clip to work. I guess it's more ornamental than useful. Okay. Then I have some extra brown cardstock, and I'm going to make 2 1-inch strips for the handles of my little basket. And actually I'm just going to do it at 10 inches. So if you have a 8.5 by 11 strip or whatever, just have it 10 inches and then 2 strips at 1 inch. Okay. Cut off that excess piece there. And I don't need this one. Just throw those away or save your scraps. I have so many scraps, it's not even funny. I actually had to recently recycle a bunch of my paper. It was kind of funny. Okay, so now with your 2 1-inch strips, I kind of thought this is what I did last time on my other basket, although you can use a different punch if you want to. I basically centered it in my puncher here, if I can get it to go in there. And I know it doesn't do very well, so I just kind of had to, but I got at least that rounded effect that I wanted. And I just kind of now gave it sort of a V shape. So it looks something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're not really going to notice that. It probably would work better if you had the other kind of edge punch, but I don't. Okay, so then I have those. And once this dries, so you're going to punch a hole here and punch a hole here, and you can, well, either you could glue it. I mean, these are options. You could use your score tape and tape it, or you can do a hole punch with your We Are Memories Keeper, which I'm going to show you on my little sample one. I set my hole puncher at a 1/2 inch, and then I just center, you know, just basically eyeball it and center it, and do the same on the other side. And then you can use a brad and then you're going to do the same thing on these, but you're not going to do a 1/2 inch. You're probably going to do about a 1/4 inch. I'm actually going to put mine together. I'm actually going to use a smaller, well, no, that probably won't work. I'm just going to basically center it on here and do the same thing on both sides. And then I have my little handles for my basket. Sorry, let me get all this mess out of the way. Let me get a couple brads out. And I think I have a couple copper ones that kind of go with the theme. And so basically you would put them on like so. Oops. Ah. Of course, only when I'm trying to do a video is gonna act crazy. Okay. And then I like the idea, I mean, if you tape it on, then they're not movable, and so I kind of like the movable idea. I'm just showing this for the example for you while I'm with. Okay, one just, I guess I didn't get it in there good, but okay. I'm just kind of using it as an example for you. I can't believe that just happened. Okay, let me try that one more time. These brads may be too small for the, I know what it is. These brads are too small for the hole I just made. That makes sense. Now I understand. Okay. I kind of figured that, but I'll be okay. So let me get out 2 bigger brads.
And so now it just goes like this. Isn't that cute? I love it. I can't wait until mine dries and I can show you on the official one. Okay, so then at this point you have a couple things that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and cut out a bunch of flowers on my puncher. On my big kick. And then I will be back. Or you can use some of the flowers that are in here and you can do that. I haven't decided yet. I may put a little styrofoam piece on the bottom because I'm going to show you in a little bit what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about making like a stand-up banner. So I'll be back shortly.